this doctor curing CKD with prescription cough medication?
Today we will discuss an important update, a major cold medicine that is showing beneficial effects on the kidneys, and this study just recently came in the Journal of Diabetology.
And what is the single best omega-3 supplement for proteinuria? And the big one, is my patient getting off dialysis with RenaFiber? Catherine here, Doctor of Natural Medicine, and today I am answering your questions. And guys, I love these videos. This is where we connect. This is where we get real. So if you have a burning question about the renal diet or kidney health, write it down in the comment section right now. And let's start with the first question immediately. This one comes from AK Audio 9646, and he says, since our consultation, I went from 3 days a week of dialysis to 1 day a week. Oh, that's amazing! Congratulations! This is really incredible. I mean, guys, can you imagine that freedom?
Yes, we finally did it.
Only once a week.
Only once a week.
With just 1 hour of consultation, this patient cut his dialysis sessions by 2/3 in one session. But here is the question that matters now. I can quit dialysis if I can stabilize my bun levels. Can RenaFiber keep my bun below 30 mg per dl? This is the million-dollar question. Should you use RenaFiber while on dialysis to lower your bun? And could that be enough to completely stop dialysis? So here's the thing. RenaFiber could help lowering your bun. Yes, because here is what we know about fiber supplements like RenaFiber. They can be extremely effective at lowering not just your bun, but an entire army of uremic toxins. This isn't just a theory. This is supported by study after study conducted on CKD patients. Look at this list. Science confirms it. RenaFiber can act like a toxin magnet. It can remove nitrogen, aka blood urea nitrogen, aka bun, right through the stool. Alright? So to answer the question, can RenaFiber keep the bun of this patient below 30 milligrams per dl? Can it be the key to his freedom? Well, here's the thing. I can't divulge any personal details here. My lips are sealed. If it's in a public comment, we can talk. But if it's something you told me privately, nope, can't talk about it here.
The acacia fiber actively repairs the diseased kidney, latching onto harmful toxins and expelling them from the system.
So if you are listening, AK Audio 9646, call me, send me an email, a WhatsApp message, a carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. But we need to talk about this one-on-one, alright? Next question. This is from Oi Hao Kiam. He asks, Dr. Catherine, I have been taking acacia fiber for 1 week now. Question, is 5 grams once a day sufficient? Thank you for this question, and this is crucial for the previous question too, because here is the secret about RenaFiber. The results you get depend a lot on the dose you take. Size matters here. And if we look at the science, if we look at the review, we were just examining the doses they use range from 25 to 50 grams a day. So what do I recommend to my patients? Based on these studies and my own clinical experience, you need to be taking 2 to 3 tablespoons of RenaFiber 2 times per day. Alright, that's about 30 to 50 grams per day total. So here is your answer. 5 grams, not enough. You want a much higher dose. And remember the rules. Dissolve it in as little water as possible and take it away from food and medications. By the way, guys, if you are not taking RenaFiber yet and you want to try it, visit renabiotech.co right now. There is also a link in the description you can follow. Now, a question from Underwaterman7293. He says, this doctor on YouTube has been taking about some prescription cough medicine that clears protein out of the blood. He talks about a few other miracle drugs he is using to treat his patients. This is the same guy who is treating his patients with methylene blue. I couldn't find anything on these meds. So what he's basically asking here is if I have more info about this miracle drug this doctor is using to treat kidney patients. And I do.
Major cold medicine that is showing beneficial effects on the kidneys, and this study just recently came in the Journal of Diabetology.
The miracle drug mentioned is the medication you see on screen right now, Licope, and it's really interesting actually. There is a very recent study about it conducted on 60 patients with diabetes and microalbuminuria. In this study, patients prescribed this medication were able to lower their proteinuria and other markers for CKD, which is great. So, should you rush to your doctor and fake a cough to get a prescription for this medication?
I can't go out. I'm sick.
Well, I wouldn't, because here's the thing. This study, it's very preliminary, and it's just basically saying that we might want to test this stuff on more patients. It's just that. And there are a million other drugs that never went past this stage because of side effects or lack of actual effectiveness. And these results are not even that promising. I mean, patients weren't even able to slow down their CKD progression after 3 months. They just managed to lower their proteinuria a little bit. Yeah, we are really diluting the value of the term miracle drug here. Let's move on. Here's a very interesting question. Can CKD patients supplement L Carnitine? Oh, this is a very interesting question. Carnitine is an extremely powerful molecule with many potential benefits. In human trials, carnitine supplementation has been observed to help with both high blood pressure and insulin resistance. And those are not even its most important benefits. In fact, in some CKD patients, a deficiency in this nutrient has been observed. Treating this deficiency seems to be the key to improve nutritional status and hemoglobin levels in some patients. So yeah, carnitine, it sounds amazing on paper, right? But should you go on Amazon and buy an L Carnitine supplement now? Well, I wouldn't recommend it. In fact, the patients that are getting the benefits I mentioned are receiving intravenous carnitine, alright? And intravenous carnitine is only approved for patients with signs of a carnitine deficiency. This usually presents with EPO-resistant anemia, alright? Which means that, according to the guidelines, the patients should already be taking several medications for anemia before carnitine is even considered. And what this basically means is that we tried carnitine and it only worked in very few patients. Not to mention that oral supplements have poor absorption, meaning you are basically wasting money here if you go buy a carnitine supplement on Amazon. So in short, don't supplement oral carnitine. Only take it if you have a prescription for it from your nephrologist. Okay guys, next question. This one is from Divine Magic 3333. She asks, which omega-3 supplement is good in mild proteinuria? Can we go for vegan omega-3 or is it necessary to take fish oil-based omega-3? And also, is krill oil-based omega-3 good for kidney health? Oh, those are a lot of questions. But I'll answer all of them now because this is very interesting for everyone. Here is the thing. Omega-3s do work. They can reduce proteinuria. They help with inflammation and they may even reduce the risk of kidney failure significantly, according to several meta-analyses. So, if you are bored already by my answer, just take some omega-3s, alright? But the question asked here was, which supplement is best? Regular fish oil-based omega-3s, vegan omega-3s, or krill oil-based omega-3s? First of all, I don't usually recommend vegan omega-3s unless you specifically want to be a vegan. Vegan omega-3s do work and they're just as bioavailable as fish oil as long as they come from algae oil in triglyceride form, alright? So why am I not recommending them? Because they're usually more expensive and you'll need to take more soft gels to get the same amount of EPA and DHA you get from regular omega-3 supplements. And what about krill oil? Is krill small enough for vegans? Okay, I'm just kidding. No one cares about that. Let's talk about kidney health because krill oil is very interesting for CKD patients. So here's the thing. Krill oil-based omega-3s might be slightly more bioavailable than regular fish oil, and they have strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties thanks to astaxanthin, but they're also more expensive, and you often need more soft gels to reach an effective dose. Plus, while the evidence for fish oil in CKD is strong, the research on krill oil is still limited. My advice, go for a high-quality, high-strength fish oil omega-3 supplement. Omega-3s work best at higher doses. Aim for at least 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per day, alright? Preferably without needing to swallow 10 pills per day. And read the back of the label, not the front. Many brands try to make you think their supplement is much stronger than it actually is. Up next, a question from a user called Saved by Grace. Oh, what a beautiful name. Here's what they ask. I've heard and or read that NAC can cause cancer. Can you give more info on that? Oh, interesting question. I'll answer in a moment. Just let me go grab my tinfoil hat real quick, alright? Because the answer here is no. NAC won't give you cancer outside of one of those big pharma conspiracy theory videos on YouTube. In reality, NAC might actually decrease your chances of getting cancer, alright? In fact, here we have a very large cohort study done on patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease that lasted more than 10 years. Their findings: patients prescribed NAC long-term actually face less risk for cancer. So if you are taking NAC, here's Grace saving you once again and telling you to rest easy. Grace is my actual name, by the way. Now, something else I can tell you about NAC is that in some animal trials, it has been shown to actually speed up the progression of certain cancers. So yeah, that's why some people are on YouTube screaming, "Oh, stop taking NAC, it gives you cancer." Not true. Truth is, there is literally no evidence this also happens in humans. So don't worry about NAC, unless you are a lab mouse, of course. But in that case, I will be way more worried about the researchers giving you cancer to test NAC, rather than the NAC itself. Up next, a very spicy question from Viking, age 3008. He asks, do you still believe it's salt that gives you high blood pressure, or is it high blood glucose holding the salt in the blood that gives high blood pressure? Oh, okay. I'm glad I'm still wearing my tinfoil hat from before, because we're totally flying over the cuckoo's nest here, guys. We went directly from big pharma conspiracy theories to keto conspiracy theories. Yay! Way to go, comment section. Now, for a bit of context, I posted a list of well-known bad habits everyone should be avoiding, alright? And of course, someone saw bacon in the list and was completely triggered about it. Anyway, there is an interesting lesson buried deep in all this nonsense. So, is it the sodium that gives you high blood pressure, or do you also need to have high blood glucose to hold that salt in the blood? Well, here's the thing. Glucose doesn't hold anything anywhere. Glucose is not super glue, and that's not how the human body works, alright? Imagine thinking that people without diabetes but with high blood pressure don't exist. That is what this comment is basically saying, alright? And yeah, go tell that to the millions of people whose blood pressure is through the roof while their blood sugar is perfectly fine. They'll be fascinated to learn they don't exist. But guys, there is something interesting about this crazy comment, and the fact is that having a diet too rich in processed sugar and refined carbs can still raise your blood pressure, alright? It's true, and this happens because more sugar in the diet causes more glycogen to be inside your cells, alright? And that will get more water to be in your body, potentially worsening fluid retention. So yeah, I think this is what Vikings Age was trying to say, not to mention that having constantly high blood sugar levels like in diabetes can cause inflammation, kidney problems, vascular damage, And all this contributes to high blood pressure. So what's my point, you ask? Well, the point here is that if you have high blood pressure, cutting sugar and refined grains from your diet is always a good idea, alright? So always avoid fruit juices, sodas, excess pasta, bread, and other ultra-processed grains. That's going to help a lot with high blood pressure, especially if you are also avoiding table salt and bacon. But don't be afraid of eating fruit, vegetables, and whole grains. Despite being rich in carbs, these foods can really help with high blood pressure. Yeah, when it comes to carbs, it's the quality that counts, says science. Up next, here's another question I got in one of my posts. So this post was about the nice daily meal plan I created that could be suitable for many patients, alright? We are talking oats with apple and chia seeds for breakfast, quinoa with olive oil for lunch, and brown rice with zucchini, and flaxseed for dinner. This is a pretty balanced daily meal plan in my opinion. Low protein, low potassium, and all meals are low on the glycemic index. So I was pretty shocked when I got this comment from a user called Elizabeth Meadows. Here's what she says. Seems like a lot of carbs. How about fewer carbs and more healthy fat? Now guys, this is just a meal planning suggestion, alright? So of course, it can be personalized, but the idea behind it is having a nice amount of whole grains at each meal with some veggies of course, and a little bit of fats. And guys, this approach, it really works. This is what my patients eat every day, including those with diabetes, if their goal is getting healthier. But should we be adding more fats to these meals to make them even better? Well guys, it depends, because if your goal is gaining weight, then yes, add more fats, especially healthy oils, alright? Olive oil and avocado oil, add these healthy fats if you need to gain some pounds. These fats, they have no potassium, no phosphorus, no protein. They are perfectly safe for a renal diet and are a concentrated source of calories, alright? But what if your goal is losing weight? In that case, you should limit the amount of fats you eat, alright? And I know that I won't be able to undo 10 years of keto conspiracies, brainwashing in a minute, but please take a look at this image. This is what I show to my patients when they have tubs about decreasing fat intake, alright? Each one of these plates contains the same amount of calories, 200 calories. And if you eat all the melon in the first plate, you won't really be able to eat a lot more food in the same meal, alright? But if you eat the oil in the other plate, well, you are going to barely feel you eat anything. You will want a full dinner after that. So my question is, which one of these foods do you think is better suited if your goal is losing weight? And if you said the oil, well, I have bad news for you. Anyway, that's the last one for today. If you want more kidney saving tips, my video up here is for you, and this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!